Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the 10-day Real Food Challenge. If you feel like you've gotten off track with your eating plan or eating habits at any point this year, and you've gone back into eating those foods that you've been craving, the sugary stuff, the carbs, whatever it may be that's your vice in food, this will be the perfect thing to get you back on track. It's called the 10-day Real Food Challenge. This is not a diet. I consider this a lifestyle eating plan. I just want you to do it for 10 days to see how your body feels and functions and looks after the 10 days are over. It's really plain and simple. The things that we're going to be avoiding are sugary foods, wheat or gluten, dairy, so we're going to cut that out of our diet, and also alcohol. I know this one's going to be tough for a lot of you out there. You're thinking, yikes, but it's okay. Just try 10 days without it. You're going to feel wonderful. The things that we will be focusing on eating, which this is where I want you to keep your focus. Don't focus on the things that you're not going to be consuming. Focus on the things that you are going to be consuming. Green vegetables and pretty much any other vegetables. We've got lean meats and proteins, which include eggs and egg whites in there. We've got nuts and seeds, and we've got fruits. The entire list you can download if you click the sign up link attached to this video. I'll send you immediately the food guide for this 10-day food challenge. And along with this, I'll be sending you recipes and other fun facts about what this kind of diet will do for you. Or sorry, I keep saying diet, eating plan will do for you and how you're going to feel during it. Hey everybody, Trainer Jack back here. Today we're going to be talking about what you're drinking while you're on your diet and why that is so important. And I know you're just bracing yourself, waiting and say, oh my gosh, he's just going to bash me for why I don't drink enough water throughout the day. And maybe you're one of those people who already drink a ton of water and you've just got a couple other things that hold you back, or maybe you're one of those people who never drink water and all you have is soda throughout the day, or all you have is a low-calorie energy drink or a sports drink throughout the day, or the high-calorie sports drinks, and you're not even that active. And all of these things are going to be stopping you from getting to your fat loss goals. Another thing, too, alcohol. It's really high in starches and sugars, and those are going to keep you from getting your goals. And like I said, on this lifestyle eating habit development that you're going to be moving into, because I don't want to call it a diet. That's a Band-Aid solution. We don't want to do that. They are going to be keeping you from the goals that you want to make, but I don't want to completely deprive you from those things ever, which I think it's really important for you to have a cheat day on your diet, and we'll get to cheat day later. But going back to the things you'll be consuming beverage-wise on your diet is I want you to start drinking a lot more water. I have 2 or 3 water bottles that I keep in different places, so I'll make sure to have water with me all the time. And I like drinking water when it's cold. I don't really like lukewarm water or warm water in my water bottle, so I'll keep a bottle the back of my refrigerator, like a 32-ounce bottle. Most of my bottles are usually between 24 and 32 ounces. So I'll keep one cold at the back of my refrigerator. I'll usually keep one on me and then one in my car as a backup so I can make sure I can take one with me wherever I go. And I'm constantly filling it up and drinking water. One thing that you're going to make sure to do while you're drinking water, and I'm not sure if you knew this before, is that you're going to be hydrating your body so that your body can distinguish the difference between when it's actually hungry and when it's actually thirsty, because the feelings that your body has in response to hunger and thirst are really similar. And a lot of times we're just dehydrated when we think we're really hungry. The stomach will start to growl, you'll feel like you're empty, and you'll think, oh, well, I need to go grab some food. I'm hungry right now. And the reality is you might not be getting enough water, enough fluids to know that you're hydrated, to be able to distinguish the difference of when you're thirsty and when you're hungry. So by drinking water, you're going to prevent yourself from eating when it's unnecessary to. And that'll also prevent you from hitting those times of fullness when you get really full, spike that blood sugar, and start shoving things away into fat storage. So make sure you're drinking a lot of water throughout the day. I would recommend, if you're not drinking a lot right now, starting with at least 64 ounces of water a day, working your way up to 80. And then if you really want to get into it, try to drink at least a gallon of water a day. And I know that sounds excessive, but this is going to make sure that you're hydrated, that you're not mistaking hunger for thirst, and actually improves digestion So not only will you be distinguishing the difference between hunger and thirst and be satisfying your body, because it needs water to function. Most of your body is made out of water. It'll help you in digestion. It'll make sure you're hydrated for whatever you have to perform throughout the day, whether it's just work activities or whether it's for your exercise. You don't want to pass out from not being hydrated enough or get sick from not being hydrated enough. Also prevent sickness and illness by making sure that your body is flushed out of any chemicals that you have or toxins that you may have ingested in some of the bad foods that you've been eating, which you're slowly pushing out. So if I can say one biggest thing in the beginning, if you're going to start with one of these lifestyle changes to implement today, make sure you start drinking lots of water right now so you can start distinguishing between hunger and between thirst. Tea is fine. Make sure that it's brewed tea, that it's not one of those sugary teas with a ton of calories. And then by coffee, I don't mean like frozen blended coffee drinks or lattes or things with a ton of sugar in it, though they do have their place, and I know you crave those sometimes, but you can have on your cheat day or for your cheat meals here and there, just regular black coffee and add a little almond milk or coconut milk, like I said earlier. But these are really low-calorie beverages, 5 calories a cup or less, depending on how big the cup is, how much coffee you're having, or what kind of coffee or tea it is. And it'll satisfy you, it'll energize you because of the caffeine contents in each and because how many antioxidant benefits there are and other nutrition benefits there are to drinking coffee and drinking tea in your diet. Like I said, make sure to stay away from the sugary things. Make sure to stay away from the fitness and sports beverage, especially if you aren't active. Those are just going to hinder you. Those are really high in carbs, really high in sugars because they're recovery drinks for intense periods of workout and athletes who are experiencing intense periods of workout. Stay away from alcohol. If you're drinking that on a regular basis, like a few nights a week, I know it's a social thing, but designate one night a week in which you can go out and drink a couple of drinks and keep it to that so you're not keeping yourself from the lean body that you're trying to attain. Sodas are absolutely terrible for you. They're so high in sugar. Just talked to a client recently who was drinking more than 12 sodas a day at times, and as soon as he cut those out of his diet, he started to see the fat. He started to see the weight drop off. There's a ton of sugar, ton of carbohydrates in that, and there's also a lot of other bad things that go along with drinking sodas, like they'll rot their teeth. In diet sodas, there's a certain kind of acid and in there that's present that you need to buffer out with a base, because all acids need a base to level it out, and it takes calcium from your body, calcium from your bones to buffer that acid out of your system. And that lessens your bone density, makes your bones weaker. And you don't want to get breaks later in life. You don't want to get breaks now, so why would you want to weaken your bones? But anyways, take these things into consideration that I've said to you. Start implementing drinking a lot of water in your diet. Go get yourself some cheap water bottles. You can find water bottles for as little as $1 or $2 in some places. If you want some nicer ones that have the cool pack, that are insulated so you can keep them nice and chilly throughout the day, grab those too. Throw some ice in there. Throw a slice of lime or a slice of lemon in there to make it taste great too. I know people who put fruit, who put cucumbers, who put all kinds of citrus in there just to give their water a little flavor, and that's a great idea if you're not a water drinker, you don't like drinking water. It's a great thing to get used to. You need it. Your body's composed of it. It's going to help with a lot of aspects in your life. Hey everyone, Trainer Jack back here to talk to you about eating frequency and how important of a role that's going to play in seeing your initial fat loss and staying sustainable with your fat loss and being able to keep that over a long period of time in your lifetime. And a lot of this has to do with metabolism and the metabolic effects of food and how you're eating, the frequency at which you're eating during the day. And I love kicking this off with one of the best analogies that I've heard for metabolism. A good friend of mine once told me that you need to see and treat your metabolism like throwing logs or throwing sticks on a fire. So, for instance, if you wake up in the morning and you don't throw a log in, you don't light up the fire, you have nothing burning in there, and you put in food and the flames will get really big at first, but you might let it dwindle out and maybe you only have 1 or 2 meals in the day, so the log will burn out and then you have to kick it back up again. Well, what you're doing is encouraging your body to shove the food that you're eating into long-term storage as fat because it doesn't know when it's going to expect food next. But if you're keeping your frequency high, so if you throw on a log in the morning for breakfast and then you keep sprinkling sticks on it throughout the day to keep it slow burning or another log here and there, it's going to be burning all day. It's going to be burning the food that you're eating all day and using it for energy to create that fire or to produce the work that you need to, whether it's at work, at home, at school, in your exercise. So I thought I'd throw that little analogy out for you so now you have a better idea, a simple way of keeping in mind of how your metabolism is working. And what I'm going to want you to do in changing your lifestyle for fat loss is eating 4 to 6 times a day. And it's not too inconvenient, I feel like, to eat 4 to 6 times a day. A lot of people are snackers and grazers anyway, and grabbing something out of the cabinets, or maybe you've got like a drawer at work, you keep snacks on you like in a bag or in a backpack that you take around with you all day. Some people say 6 to 8, and that's okay if you can do that frequency, if you can afford to. I feel like that is kind of a point I hit with a lot of people where it's like, well, it's a little inconvenient to do this, so I like saying 4 to 6. And what you're going to be having is a breakfast within 30 minutes of when you wake up in the morning. It's just a great way to wake your body up. Your body's at a deficit of water and food. That'll get your blood sugar up to where it needs to be and wake your body up and encourage it to start burning calories early on in the day. You're going to have a lunch, you're going to have a dinner, and then one snack in between the day, or if you choose to do the 5 or 6, you'll have a post-workout or a pre-workout and a post-workout. So you'll be eating all throughout the day. And the thing that this is going to encourage too is the killing of cravings and the killing of binge eating. What I find out from my clients, my friends, my family members who eat only a couple meals in the day is that they go through really intense bouts of low and high blood sugar. And how this happens is they wait to eat until they get to the point of, oh my gosh, I'm starving, I have to grab something. So once they get to a meal, they're going to overeat. The other downside to that is once your body's blood sugar gets low, you're going to be craving all the things that's going to jack your blood sugar back up. So you're going to be craving starches, you're going to be craving breads, you're going to be craving sweets because your body knows, oh my gosh, I need to get my blood sugar up because I'm losing brain function or I'm losing energy, like I just can't make it any longer. So you're going to hurt yourself in 2 ways of saying, oh, I not only want to eat a ton right now, I want to eat a ton of all the wrong foods for me. And that's just going to get shoved away as fat. And that's going to keep you from getting the lean body that you're trying to attain here. So by feeding yourself frequently and feeding yourself the slow burning foods that we talked about in the last video, you're going to ensure that you never hit those lows and hit those highs of, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. And then you eat so much and you get super full and you got a huge influx of blood sugar. And like I said, shoving all that away is fat. But if you're giving your body calories throughout the day, that's going to make sure to moderate your blood sugar, which is a huge part in keeping fat off. So eating snacks here and there and eating meals, and they don't even have to be smaller, as long as you're making sure to eat the right calories, to eat quality calories, you're not going to start packing on the pounds and you're still going to see fat loss. I think calorie counting largely has been a gimmick that has been imposed on society by big business. And I really believe that your body will regulate to the weight that it's comfortable at, and it will naturally flux to once you start eating the right kind of calories. Now, if you need to modify the amount that you're eating later because you want to be leaner, you want to be tinier, whatever the case is, that you're going to have to take up on your own because everybody's body's different. But I'm saying initially, if you're eating all of the kinds of calories, the lean proteins, the eggs, the green cruciferous vegetables in general, and then substituting the grain carbohydrates you're eating now for good things like beans and lentils. And I don't care if you throw in the bowl of oatmeal for breakfast here or there. If you've got a low sugar cereal that you want to have with almond milk, I think that's fantastic. Give your body first thing in the morning. You could be eating much worse things like a jelly-filled donut, for instance. That's about all on this topic. As far as snacks goes and post-workout throughout the day or pre-workout, I always like keeping a bag of nuts or a bag of trail mix on me. Dried fruits can be high in sugar, but if you're making sure just to take, a handful here and there throughout the day, then it's not going to be a huge deficit or deficiency from you making your gains on a program like this. So nuts are a great snack. Nut butters too. Like, a lot of people think I'm crazy, but I kind of treat peanut butter as a dessert sometimes. And I'll take a tablespoon of peanut butter here or there. If I can't get a snack, or I'll carry a small jar with me around and just grab a plastic spoon wherever I may be. So anyways, now you have a better idea of how your metabolism's functioning, how many times you should be eating throughout the day, because that's going to help moderate your cravings and going from low blood sugar to high blood sugar, starving to absolutely stuffed full. And this is going to make sure that you aren't feeling stuffed all the time. I hate that feeling. I remember when I was overweight and I would just eat till I was sick and then wait till I was starving again and then eat till I was sick. And that's a terrible bout of going through because you're constantly tired, you're constantly sluggish, you constantly don't have the energy to perform the tasks that you need to throughout the day. Hey guys and gals, Trainer Jack back here. We're going to be discussing some more details in eating and getting away from all the crap and other things that you used to eat that were high in starch, high in sugar, that are dragging you down and keeping you from that body that you want to achieve. The first thing that we're going to talk about is sugar, and sugar for the most part is the enemy. If you're eating things that are ice cream, baked goods, cake, even certain kinds of breads, pastas, how your body stores these starches are as fat. You quickly shuttle them into your long-term storage in your body before you even get the chance to use it as energy. So what I want you to acclimate yourself to doing is eating slow-burning foods that your body can take the opportunity to use as energy first to supply you for making it through the whole day or getting you through your workout, as opposed to eating something like an Oreo or any other kind of cookie or cake or bread or pasta or anything with gluten in it that's just your body's going to take and go, oh, well, you know, Jack's eating this. We're not going to be able to digest it all at once, so we're going to have to shove it into long-term storage to use as energy later. That's when you get fat to collect on your body. That's what's going to cover up those lean, defined lines of muscle on your body, and that's what we want to get rid of, because we want to see those abs. We want to open those up. We want to see the lines in the arms and the shoulders and the back, and those foods are going to keep you from doing that. So now you're asking, Jack, what do you mean by slow-burning foods? What do I need to be eating? A diet that consists of lean proteins, lean meats, beef, pork, chicken, turkey are all great ones. I eat a ton of eggs, and yes, whole eggs, not just egg whites. I usually have a 2 or 3 egg breakfast with some black beans and then either some sauteed spinach or some fresh spinach. Those are all slow-burning things, high in proteins, high in all the right kinds of carbohydrates as opposed to things with gluten in it. Another thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that you're stocking each meal with a protein, a fat, and a carbohydrate. And by carbohydrate, I don't mean like breads and pastas. I mean that you can get your carbohydrates, and you may not know this, from vegetables, from beans, from lentils, from nuts, all the things that are going to give you a ton of energy for making it through the day without having things like gluten or wheat in it that are actually going to drag you down and bring your energy levels down because it's complex for your body to digest. When you put things in your body like lean meats and healthy fats like nuts or nut butters or avocado, those are things that your body was meant to digest. So you're slowly going to process them, and your body's going to take the opportunity to use that for energy throughout your entire day. So by proteins, I already told you what I mean by that. For carbohydrates, green cruciferous vegetables are the best ones for you. The greener, the deeper the green, the more nutrient and vitamin dense that they're going to be. You're going to take care of your body in a big, big way by sticking to things like spinach, kale, mustard greens, turnip greens, green beans, peas, but there's also benefits to eating other vegetables too, like onions, peppers, mushrooms, anything else out there that you may enjoy. And you may be thinking, well, Jack, I don't really like vegetables that much. Like, I'm more of a fruits person, or I'm more of a meat and potatoes kind of girl or kind of guy. And the only reason that you're that way is because you haven't taken the opportunities to make those other things taste good or cook them the way that you want to. Because when you saute spinach and you should throw some sea salt on there and some garlic powder or some of your favorite spices and maybe a little bit of salsa, put a little bit of hummus on there, it's going to taste amazing. And I think probably why you haven't enjoyed it in the past is because you've had a frozen bag of vegetables, you've had a plain can of green beans or peas, or you've had just a normal tomato and you haven't done anything with it. And what this is really going to allow you to do is be simply creative, as I would say. And then it's not going to take you a lot of time or effort to make those vegetables, to make those meats, to make those things that you didn't like before taste amazing. And seriously, by using those methods of seasoning or using light sauces for stuff or sauteing things or steaming things, I found that the only vegetable that I've ever come across that I don't like is Brussels sprouts. And I haven't even tried to treat Brussels sprouts the way I treat other vegetables, so maybe I could give them another shot and I'd like them. But once you start treating your vegetables in the way that you want them to taste, you can make them taste like anything that you want and they'll taste fantastic. You will be shocked. I've had people that I've cooked for before where I've literally made them, I've opened up a can of black beans, I've cooked them a couple of eggs, and I've thrown some sauteed spinach in there or some fresh spinach in there. And just because I've seasoned it the right way, I've gotten some really absurd and awesome looks from people, and they go, Jack, what did you put in this? Like, why, this should be tasting like crap right now, and this tastes like a burger, like the equivalent to a burger or a great slice of pizza or something. And not literally that it tastes like that, but it tastes a lot better than they've had it before, just because I have 20 or 30 seasonings in my cabinet at all times that I want to season it and make it taste great. But back to the kind of foods that you want to be eating, you want to make sure that you're getting your carbohydrates from vegetables and fruits that aren't too sugary and aren't going to spike up your insulin levels. And you want to make sure you're getting your proteins from lean meats and eggs. If you're vegetarian or vegan, beans are another great way to get them. Nuts are another great way to get energy. Nuts are a go-to energy and protein food for me, that if I'm ever feeling low on energy throughout the day, or if I feel like I need a little protein boost, grab a handful of almonds, grab a handful of cashews, and go from there. And then your fats, which you're going to be getting from great fat sources like extra virgin olive oil, from avocados, from grass-fed butter, if you want to throw that a little bit in there. And then you're going to want to substitute the things that you're already putting, like maybe you're a huge milk person or dairy person. In reality, dairy is really high in sugar most of the time, and that's also going to drag down your energy levels. Your body's going to store those quickly into long-term storage as fat. So we're going to get, the milks and the cheeses and everything out of our diet that has dairy in it, and make substitutions like almond milk and coconut milk. And to be honest with you, you will get coconut milk and it will blow your mind, even if you're not a coconut fan. Because if you get the vanilla kind, or if you get the vanilla almond milk, it's got just enough sweetness and just enough richness. Put a little bit in your coffee. Start eating your low-sugar cereal that way, or putting a little on your oatmeal. It'll be a great substitution that you're not going to regret. Hey everyone, Trainer Jack back here. Now talking about how you're going to eliminate the process of cooking, or at least eliminating the process of cooking for the most part in your life, on your new lifestyle of exercise and fine-tuning those eating habits that we haven't for a while. The best and most important utensil that you can have in your kitchen for this is a crock pot. And no, it's not expensive. The lowest I've seen them are $20, and sometimes you can get them lower than that on sale. It depends on how big and the quality of crock pot you want and the different settings that you want, features. I have a really basic crock pot that I bought for $20 that the most I've loaded into it is about, 8 or 9 pounds of meat and vegetables. And the greatest thing about a crock pot, besides eliminating the need for cooking, if you're not familiar with how one works, it's using the set it and forget it principle. I will literally unload as much chicken, pork, beef, steak, tenderloin, whatever I have, into my crock pot, put it in there, set it on low, let it sit overnight, and after about 8 to 12 hours, depending on how much I've put in there, adding my spices, adding my seasonings as I go, adding some vegetables in at the end, you have a week's worth of meals and food from just one set of a crock pot, and literally just sitting there letting it do the work for you. You don't have to turn on the stove. You don't have to get some nice pots and pans or learn knife skills or mixing or anything. It's literally going to make some of the greatest tasting food you've ever had with little to no time commitment whatsoever. I think the best stuff I've made in a crock pot, even with the prep time for everything, has taken under 10 minutes for me. And like I said, sets me up for the week. So go out, find yourself a great crock pot or slow cooker. It's going to come in so much handy. Also, grab yourself a ton of Tupperware so you can load and store that food that you're going to be eating for the week ahead of time. You're going to eliminate cooking time. You're going to make some great tasting food that's great for your body. Hey everyone, Trainer Jack back here, and today we are covering one of my favorite topics of all time. And that's why integrating a cheat day is so important to put into your diet. And many of the people who I have as clients or friends who say, oh my gosh, Jack, are you serious? A cheat day? Like, I feel like in one day of the week, I'm going to destroy everything that I worked on cultivating throughout the week to have a lean body. And that's not necessarily the case. if you do it the right way, that cheat day is going to help you get to the lean body that you want. And the other thing, too, is you have cravings during the week. We're all human. You're probably thinking, oh my gosh, Jack probably just eats salad, or he just eats grilled chicken. And that's not the case. I've got cravings, too, but I've effectively used raising my meal frequency and how often I eat and moderating my blood sugar, and also having a cheat day to go crazy on whatever I was craving during the week to break long-term cravings that I had. I had a long-term crazy nacho craving for the longest time, and I would eat nachos every cheat day, like a giant plate of nachos to myself for a few weeks, and then finally I just burnt myself out on nachos. Or sweets with ice cream, I would get a whole like half gallon or a nice pint size to myself and just go crazy on ice cream. Milkshakes, I had the same thing. I would just get a large on the weekends, a large on my cheat day. Pizza, oh my gosh, pizza, one of my favorite foods of all time. I've even broken the craving for, so now I enjoy pizza, but I don't actively think during the week, oh geez, I could really use some pizza right now. So taking one day out of the week, or a 7 to 10 day period if you don't want to have them as frequently, can actually help boost your metabolism, can help you shred fat over the next few days afterwards, and yes, will shred fat a few days afterwards by increasing your influx of calories for that day, your influx of food that day, by eating more calories, by eating really calorie dense, crappy stuff one day out of every 7 to 10 days. You can actually boost your metabolism and your fat burning for several days following that, so that you can see a leaner you and you can start to see those stomach muscles. And yeah, you're going to feel crappy on that day, and you're probably going to feel crappy or a little bit crappy the day afterwards, but honestly, the benefits to having a cheat day far outweigh the costs. And for this, I'd say definitely check with your doctor or physician or dietitian if you have one, to make sure that you're okay to do this before you get into having a cheat day. But after you get that approval or after you get that consent, you are going to see the benefits of this. And they may seem simple at first, but I think the long-term effects of having a cheat day are really dramatic, because once you get done with your cheat day, all I think is, oh my gosh, I either A, don't want to eat, or B, all I want to eat is vegetables, or lean meats, or things that taste good, or oh my gosh, I want to have a couple of scoops of peanut butter and that's it the next day. And you're going to keep eating the next day and try to keep it on your normal diet. But during that cheat day, go crazy. Eat as much as you want of whatever you want. And you kind of want to make yourself sick of something. So if you're craving something like cheese, have a ton of cheese and crackers, or queso and chips, or, if you're craving bread during the week, have your favorite kind of sandwich. I know that I used to go crazy for peanut butter and jellies, and I'll have a couple peanut butter and jellies on a cheat day sometime. I know that sounds a little kiddish, but seriously, it's one of the best sandwiches of all time, okay? If you're a huge pasta fan, get a big bowl of pasta. Go crazy with it. The other thing, too, it's fun if you've got friends for accountability doing this fat loss course with you, or trying to change their life around, too. It's always fun to team up for cheat days. Take your cravings, put them on a list together. Go out and eat places. Bring stuff home and cook the stuff that you've been craving all week. It's so much fun to be able to share that as a communal thing with your friends and your family when you have a cheat day and you're living a healthy lifestyle for the rest of the week, or during that 7 to 10 day period. So make sure you get approval, like I said, first from an expert. Go out there, try a cheat day, and make sure to lock your diet down for the rest of the days that you're not cheating. Don't deviate on those days. Don't say, oh, I'll just take this here or this there or this sweet here, or oh, I'll just have a couple little candies. No, you want to keep strict, locked into your diet. If you have that craving during the week, write that down on a sheet of paper. Put it on a notepad in your phone. Put it on a sticky note and stick it on the fridge someplace that you'll see it. When you get to your cheat day, get a ton of those things. Eat a ton of those things. We're trying to burn you out on that craving. We're trying to teach your body that during that one day of the week when you influx those calories, and you still want to be exercising on that day, I meant to say, do some form of resistance training. I'm going to include some workouts in this course and in later courses that you can use on those cheat days to make sure that influx of calories are going to the right place, all the places you want to, and are collecting on your stomach, your hips, your love handles. You want them to be sending to your arms to make them look bigger or more sculpted, or your chest or your quads, which are great to shuttle those calories into by making sure that you work out that day. So go out there, try a cheat day every once in a while, keep that diet tight and locked down the rest of the week. Like I said, we're forming lifestyle eating habits to gain for a lifetime here. So go out there, commit to your cheat day, and then commit to the rest of your week with the same level of intensity. I'll talk to you soon.